All right.
It's actually funny you said goat.
That's a great segue. Well, let's go ahead and start. We've been on a little bit of a break due to my vacation, and it was fun, but we're all back now, waiting for Mark, but we'll just go ahead and start. Last we left our heroes, we had a death in the party. The first death in the party. Alexandra was killed by Ezek, and Ezek was in turn killed by her companions. Then, the Watcher House seems like they're about to make a move on the Burgomaster of Vallaki to take control of the town. At the same time, the characters are toting around dead bodies and all sorts of good stuff. So, that's where we last left off. So, who's got what body? Where are we at exactly? It's been so long since we played. It's hard to remember the last moment.
They were at the Burgomaster's manor in his private study. They had brought the hand of Ezek to show him as proof that they killed him, and Alexander's body.
Yes, and...
I'm cuddling Alexandra's doll.
And she's going to stab you.
Right.
I have the hand, but I haven't actually shown it yet. And Jeeves had Alexandra's body and then got the contract, or the scroll from death, and I was just getting around to deciphering it, but I wasn't entirely sure what it said yet.
That's because your rolls all sucked.
Yes, the last thing we saw was the Burgomaster taking a drink from his stash in his study. Jack was there with him, and he said, "All is not well."
Gee, you think?
Yes, I never would have thought that Ezek could be so unstable.
And that's exactly how he was able to get away with it.
Alright.
Tell me, Burgomaster, were you born into power?
Yes, my family has held domain over this village. It is named after our family name.
I see.
Valakovich.
So it's always been something of a surety to you that you would be in charge.
Of course. We established this town, and done well by it. As far as safe havens in Barovia goes, this is the strongest settlement. Berez is
certainly the strongest that we've seen from the outside. From the inside, however, your fine fortress is covered with rot.
Yes, but we strive to improve. The small
You
northern
strive
town
to
of...
improve. I'm not sure that your city follows your ideology.
Well, I do my best to spread my good wisdom to them through the festivals.
Exactly. You consider the festivals to be your defining contribution. Unfortunately, so do your people, and I gather that they're not very happy about that.
I rolled a perception check for you, Jack, because I don't know if you're available. Is that okay? Or can you roll that yourself? Here we go. Alright, yeah, you should have said that was okay. So I rolled a natural 20 for you. I just didn't know you're here because of what you said on Facebook earlier. But,
No, like I said, I'll be a little slow with rolls. I'm busy around the house, but I've also got my computer right here.
Oh, I thought you were at work. Somebody dropped a coil and
Well,
all that.
I am.
Okay. Oh, you're at work at home. Hey, kid.
And home. They're the same thing.
You heard some rustling in the corner to your right. Kind of sounded like it was coming from one of his bookshelves. But it was barely perceivable. He says, this this town has prospered as it has due to me. We have the wall. We are not going to meet
Make
the
a
same
motion
fate.
at him to keep talking as I go and look at the rustling. I find that things that happen around lords and nobility are rarely chance and happen.
Yes, well, he continues to explain, we will not meet the same fate as Berez, like a village that was destroyed by Strahd. We are much stronger. We do not sit beneath its evil eye in the village of Barovia, and we are not so far north as Kresk as to have to face the cold and the monsters that prowl that area. We're safe here in these walls, and this all to do with my ancestors and their great determination, willpower, and perseverance. Roll another perception check. Yeah, you could tell it's not coming from the bookshelf, but maybe on the other side of the wall. Opposite the bookshelf, like beyond the bookshelf. So Elias, where are you at this? While this is all going on, I believe they left you downstairs. But...
Yeah, I'm still sitting downstairs with the scroll, and I was trying to read it. And I think you gave me a pass to understand like the basics of it, but I'm not sure how much I really get.
Yeah. You study the scroll long enough during all the other stuff that was going on, so that you understand that it's a scroll that will let you bring someone back from the dead, but there is an exchange that has to be equal, and that is the life of another human. You think that some kind of fiend or monster won't do. It's going to have to be a person. And you also don't think that you have the skill to cast this. It is beyond your experience. The ritual is too intricate for your skill to be able to perform as it's needed. And if it's done wrong, there may be horrible consequences that that let you know that you're not the best person to cast this at this point.
Can I perceive that this is it like a cleric type spell or some kind of necromancy or something else entirely?
You can tell it's divine magic. A lot of the language it's written in that isn't, symbols and stuff that have to do with creating the ritual. They're like, and it's an Enochian language. Looks like maybe
right.
The language of Enoch and angels, and it's some kind of divine, but yet on the other side, dark kind of ability. So you know that a magic caster such as Jack would be even less able to cast something like this than someone of your profession.
Gotcha. Okay. And I'm by myself in the room right now. Well, Jeeves is there, I assume.
Yes. Yeah, Jeeves is there. The Baron Vargas Vlakovic invites Jack to follow him downstairs to return to the guests with the grim news. Also, with Jack will come the toy maker, Blinsky. Blinsky will return as well. That is, if Jack had nothing else to say while he was in the study. There's lots of books there.
Actually, what he's going to do is cast Minor Illusion on the other side of the wall, and just his voice shouting, "Kind of hard to eavesdrop, ain't it?" over and over.
Huh. Can you... I
guess... It doesn't say I need line of sight.
Right. It's an audible thing. You just make it sound like it's coming from that direction.
I got 30 feet. I'm putting it, say, 5 on the other side of the wall.
the Burgermaster, he makes a roll, and the Burgermaster says, "Oh, that's odd. That does not sound like who should be on the other side of that wall there." How curious.
Who should be on the other side of this wall?
And
Your voice cut out really bad, dude. It went all digital.
yeah, your internet must be.
Should be on the other side of this wall.
He says, I am keeping someone dangerous on the other side of that wall. His name is Ludo.
Hey,
Ludo friend?
That was kind of an in-character voice, but an outside-of-character laugh. But Vargas says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's Udo. Udo Lokovich. He was...
That name sounds familiar.
I do not know where you have heard it. He's the local shoemaker. His wife may have been someone that you had met at the church. She is usually praying for him ever since we've had to take him into custody."
Why is he dangerous?
Well, he came back with wolf bites, and we are keeping an eye on him in case he has contracted a disease.
I see. Table that. We may have to investigate him in a few moments, but beyond that, what is your next move, Herr Burgermaster?
Yes, this puts me in a difficult situation. We do not have the protection that we used to have with Ezek, and I fear that although we have many
Yes, you've
guards,
indeed lost your intimidating strong arm.
I think that could be quickly remedied if we were to, let's say, hire some new assistants. Perhaps you and your
You
friends.
need to act fast and decisively if you intend to keep your position.
Well, Jack, you know that loyalty is important to me. That and a good head and morals. Do you think that you and your company of friends
Yes,
would
I
be
know that.
interested in protecting us until we can find a new captain of the guard?
I can't speak for everyone, but of the surviving members of the party after, your last one killed Mr. Jeeves is going to be very hard to talk into anything to do with town at the moment, but Elias, being the he is, will be all for standing up for good and righteousness and lovely ideal talk that gets so many people killed forever.
Yeah, Jesus, I know.
Well, I am willing to negotiate. Let's go downstairs and convene with your friends.
Yes, let's. In the room with the dead body of my other friend, who Ezek killed.
Yes, well, that is very regrettable, but let us do what we can to give her proper burial and compensate you in any possible way.
Any possible way. I'm holding you to that.
Indeed, yes. Any way possible we can assist with
No,
your grievance.
you said it. I'm holding you to it. Let's go.
Very well then. And he leads you and Blinsky back downstairs, to the right down the hall. You find the familiar room, the den where his two dogs sit and wait for his return. And then you're reunited with your company. Would you like to explain to them my proposal, Mr. Motley?
Herr Burgermaster has offered us Ezek's old job until he can find somebody of suitable replacement. Beyond that, he's also stated that he will compensate us in whatever manner we deem fit. Whatever manner.
Yes, I speak true. As you can be sure.
He said anything, I'm holding him to it.
You can be sure I will do my best.
Yes, well, let's talk about that another time. Elias, Jeeves, corpse of Alexandra. Because Ezek killed you, just look at him every single time I say it.
He's getting the point. Getting your point across quite clearly. His captain of the guard has killed your friend, and he says, "My guests, I apologize. In hindsight, I see that that your tall butler friend here has been innocent this entire time of stealing the bones from the church. Hindsight is 20/20, and I am sorry that I had such a snake in my midst. It's beyond understanding to me. I gave Ezek everything. He's a very troubled young boy who had lost his arm to the wolves outside of this village. We took him into this household as one of our own, and he grew to be a strong man that has assisted this town, and apparently has also been one of its darkest diseases, directly beneath my nose."
I understand how important Ezek's strength was to the protection of your town, and we did take him out and remove him from this town's protection, so we are responsible in a way. But I agree only temporarily to help you, perhaps only until the festival you have arranged, because we have much greater deeds to undergo ourselves. We are, of course, searching out vampires, and of course we have business looking for some missing persons as well. We cannot tarry too long, and I do not feel too beheld to help you, given the circumstances with my party and the character of Ezek and just the general welcome that we've had to this town. I don't feel I belong all that much.
If you feel I have treated you unfairly, please explain.
You mean before or after where you held our friend because your entire reasoning was he was new and he looked shifty?
He was accused by a citizen of this town. Something to be taken very seriously. You must understand it is my responsibility to ensure that things go
I understand
properly.
quite a lot, and I'm acting very juvenile. However, one of us needs the other.
Yes.
I am willing to help. Ezek was important to this town's defense. He was your hammer blow and your spear point.
And
I am angry. And the way I choose to express that, rather than, say, a violent rampage or assisting the Watchers in bringing you down, is to taunt and jibe and jest.
One thing you must understand, Burgomaster, is from henceforth you must not rule these people with a sense of paranoia and smokescreens. That will not cut it anymore. You should be honest with these people.
Paranoia? How dare you, sir? You are still a guest in my house.
And you are a fool. You'll listen to me.
I grow tired of this. This is... Jack. You may assist me if you wish, but your other companions are no longer welcome.
No, Burgomaster, we are a package deal, and you would do well to listen to him despite his attack upon your pride. I understand how much it helps, how much it irks, especially a man of your position. I grew up in a court. However, understand that without us, you will be gone from your position very shortly. I have a way to keep you in power, to save your city.
Very good.
Jack looks at the dog, looks back at the Burgomaster.
Sir, this is a time for justice and passion, not a time for lies and deception.
Yes, there is no deception here. Not from my end. You have stepped out of line once too many times. And he unleashes his hounds on Elias. Roll for initiative.
Oh, Lord.
The doll is face palming.
Okay, so we have Elias. You have beat the Mastiffs. Let me get the Baron in here as well. And I suppose we should get some good music for fighting, huh? All right. Okay, Elias, you actually went before Baron Vargas Vlakovic as well. So go ahead and take your action first.
Okay, before I do anything, I'm going to speak to him. I'm going to say, "Sir, you're making a mistake. You're trying to attack the only people that can help you save this town and protect it. You know that we're at least the second strongest people behind Izek that you have. Why would you do this?"
As you're saying this, dogs are immediately rushing at you. You only have a split second to talk or fight or run.
Okay.
So you can say all that, but you're saying it as dogs are charging at you.
Okay, well I'll have to attack the nearest dog, which is Mastiff 2.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll start out with Thunderous Smite again. Let me apply that.
Okay, he failed his save.
So that basically knocks him down, from what I remember. Push 10 feet away from you and knock prone.
Okay. So I can knock him prone.
Alright, and now we're going to get the longsword attack proper.
Oh wait, that wasn't on the Baron,
Yeah,
was
that
it?
wasn't on the Baron, that was on Mastiff too.
There we go. Alright,
18.
it's a hit.
Alright.
Yes, you instantly destroy the Mastiff. What does it look like?
Whoa.
Poor dog!
They look way bigger than that. But the thunder should be quite intimidating for the situation, I'm pretty sure. That almost sounded like thunder, whatever that was.
Yes, they are quite intimidated. The other Mastiff is still charging, but the look on the Baron's face, he can tell he has really fucked up. Alright, so...
Settle your dog, sir. Did you not hear what I said?
He says,
Wow.
"Heal, Jenny, heal!" But the dog does not it continues to rush towards Elias. Mr. Jeeves, it's your turn.
Wonderful. Alright. Well, I'm going to try and hit the dog before it gets to Elias.
Okay.
I should have asked how big these and how strong these dogs look before I.
They're
They're
huge.
mastiffs. They're mastiffs.
They are giant dogs, but still, they're just dogs.
Weak as hell.
Mr. Jeeves pulls out his short bow and unleashes an arrow into a mastiff, which strikes it.
How close is he to Elias?
He hasn't got to move yet, so he's
okay.
basically in the corner. But you can tell, like, all this is kind of going on at the same time. The dog yelps and falls over, with labored breathing. It looks like it is close to death as well. Jack, it's your turn. Oh, well...
Are there any...
I kind of ended Mr. Jeeves' turn. Did you have anything else you wanted to do?
I guess I'm going to move closer.
Okay. Alright, now Jack.
One dog is on the ground and the other is also on the ground at this point.
Yeah, one Elias just cleaved, and it's in multiple pieces now. The other one has an arrow sticking out of its lung, and it is unconscious.
And the burgomaster doesn't look like he wants to fight.
No, he tried to call the dog off, in fact.
Alright, close the door, if it's not already closed.
Okay.
Turn to Elias and say, can you fix the dog? Are we done with this now? Just looking blatantly irritated and at the burgomaster. May we please resume saving your city?
Well, I'll let Elias answer the first question.
Which was.
He looked at you and asked
Can
if
you
could
fix the
this.
dog?
Oh yes, of course. I can lay on hands and help this dog.
We've cost the burgomaster 2 hounds. Let's try not to kill a third.
Well said. The Baron does not grovel. He just simply stands there and says, "You have bested me. This is a moment to prove what villains you really are. Come into my house and insulting me as such. The lives of
And you
all of this..."
by acting like a paranoid person in return.
I'm not
Calm
paranoid.
down. As I said, may we please resume saving your city?
Thank you, dear.
As I said, I have an idea on how to keep you in power and hopefully have Balaki come out for the better from all of this.
Then speak your plan.
Are you willing to listen?
Yes.
Good.
Okay, can we?
Is Elias working on the dog?
I was about to ask, have we ended the battle phase now, so I can just walk over there?
Yeah.
Okay. So Elias approaches the still alive mastiff and attempts to remove the arrow, as well as starts to touch it with lay on hands, which I'm going to do right now, as a sign of goodwill and that we're trying to work something out here.
Yes, as you do, you pull the arrow out and lay your hand over the wound. The dog instantly becomes healed back to full health, and it just kind of lays there and slowly gets back up on its giant paws and whimpers and walks back to its master.
And Elias sheaths his sword and motions to Jack to continue.
All right, then. Now, listen, you are in something of a unfavorable position. The Watcher family has already started. They've already moving against you. Chances are they're already in motion trying to take you down. They will not come in the night with torches and pitchforks. They will come in brilliant daylight in the middle of a crowd with, well, still an angry mob calling for your ouster.
I believe maybe you're more paranoid than I, unless you have some kind of...
No, as in they've told us
I
this.
don't.
I have information that you do not.
I was suspicious of the Watchers, but I would not say that I was paranoid. I had right to ask you to gain intelligence for them.
Oh, absolutely. They are ready, they are able, and they are willing to take you down to improve their own position. And the people of your city are willing to let them.
He sighs and sits back in his chair. The dog begins to walk slowly over to Elias, and the Baron says, I have no reason to distrust you, and you have shown me much corruption in my own house, literally. I regret that things have turned out this way. If you think that this is a situation that can be salvaged, please understand that the fate of this town may rely on what you decide to do.
I think it is in your best interests to get ahead of this. At a certain point, you will have to go, a certain point in the very near future, you will have to go public with the knowledge that Ezek was corrupt. That he was a fine and grand man, a hero of this town, who fell to human vices. It is a shame, it is terrible, but you found out and you handled it. That's part of it. Another part is I think you should meet with the Watcher family and try to mend the wound between your two houses.
Mend the wound? I do not think this will be possible. You see, Lady Watcher had sent her daughter to seek to marry my son. He was not interested. This has had a very dramatic effect on the girl. Do not believe that anything I say will change that.
Jack is also stroking the doll of Alexandra.
Which
as
will
he's
be
talking.
shaking her entire notion.
The big mastiff starts to lick Elias's hand.
I don't have any more, my little friend. Or a big friend, I should say.
He just kind of curls up next to the table in front of you.
I'm sorry about your dog, sir, but I certainly agree with Jack, and I think that we should be given opportunity at least to speak with your son. I'm sure he would understand if the fate of the town and the lives of its people rest upon this.
So what is it you suggest, that I go to the Watcher House with you?
No, I'm not sure you would survive. They are not good people, but they do seem to have the best interests of the town at heart. Or at least they can be harnessed to do so.
Then what can I do to aid you in your efforts to reconcile our houses?
Make a grand show of penance to your town and to the Watchers. Invite them very publicly to your house. That you have seen terrible things and you want to start making amends. You thought it best to start with your own house.
He thinks for a moment and runs his hands through his thinning dark hair, and he looks back up at Jack and nods, and he says, I will trust you in this. Send word immediately to them, and I will prepare my house.
A beautiful tale of redemption. I certainly approve.
I'm sure you would.
The doll is disgusted with all of you.
Their biggest advantage over you has come from one of their staff, a spy master. Given that you've employed none of your own before me, he was able to move relatively freely throughout the town.
And
in fact, I think if I yelled loud enough, I'm sure he could hear me even now.
it sounds like my suspicions were all correct. I still find...
Oh, your
that...
suspicions were correct as far as the Watcher goes, but...
Well, do what you must then to invite them here. When can I expect them?
I don't know. They're probably going to be fashionably late and make you, wait. They're kind of petty like that. Most nobles are, I find.
Yes, well... We shall see then. I am willing to meet.
Crusader, do you have any other ideas or notions?
I do have a notion, my friend. Sir, you have a word on my honor that if they should attack you, I will do my best to defend you against them.
With seeing the abilities you possess, I can only feel more comfortable with you on my side.
We did sort of kill Ezek.
Sort of, yeah.
That was a favor, I just didn't know it at the time.
Point being, Ezek, us, hold his hands one over the other. All goes well, you should come out of this better than you started, and your town will certainly do so.
If you seek permanent residence here, I can make sure your lives are comfortable, if that's true.
We're not the stay-at-home types, but perhaps a small base of operations would not be out of order or out of the question. We don't know how long we're going to be in this land.
Says the man obsessed with gaining control of a death house.
Hey, he was already vying for another base of operations. I think that's perfectly within his real estate opportunity mindset that he's previously shown.
That we need something in every town, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Exactly. The Assassin's Creed life.
Okay, so...
Look, if we can't take Strahd down, we might be able to set up a network of people who will be able to eventually. But... was that your notion, Crusader, that you'll protect the Baron?
It is indeed, sir. I think it's only the right thing to do.
Okay. Burgomaster, I think you should send a... How do you normally invite people to your palace?
Well, I usually send someone with word and an official invitation letter. I can write one now if you'd like.
Yes, send someone, very publicly. A contingent of guards. No, 2 or 3. Make it look important. You want them to feel special. And I will warn you that they will likely be very haughty upon arrival.
Well, I suppose I could send a gift. My wife is quite good in the kitchen for making cakes. Perhaps I'll send them some baked goods.
It couldn't hurt. I'm just telling you to keep your temper in check, because they will most likely be very, even if not openly, they will be very arrogant.
If I show them my belly, don't you think that they'll just strike all the swifter? should show them that I'm still capable of leading this town.
It's
Negotiating.
possible that they will try to strike your belly, but if that does, and you survive, and if we survive, you'll survive, then it can only make them look terrible.
That's true. There's some accountability here.
I have another proposal. It is a bit brutish, but I believe it would be best for the town.
Killing the Watchers would end badly.
Explain why.
That reinforces the notion that you're paranoid.
But I have reason to believe they collude against me.
You're thinking about it from an eagle's perspective. Think from the perspective of a mouse. You're a peasantry.
I suppose I would need evidence for them to understand.
You would need some pretty big, huge evidence. Right now, I'm sure you could summon... After it's known that Ezek is dead, I'm sure there will be no end of evidence of people who have stories about him.
And with Ezek gone, you may very well need their assistance and help in defending this place.
I do not trust them to defend this place. I believe they are evil people. And Jack,
They're not nice people.
One of the charges that I was so willing to employ you on was to find evidence against them. If this is something that you could still do, we could bring them into the light and out of shadow, that they are evil people and should be dealt with harshly and publicly.
Alexandra's dead!
Investigate their house and see if you can't find anything that we can use. But I feel
I'm
we must
certainly
do this
willing to-
swiftly if you say that their threat is imminent. So time is...
Oh, the threat is imminent. We need to move quickly, but we also need to not act rashly. I'm telling you, your best notion at this point is to invite them openly for tea to apologize.
How about this then?
To try and mend.
I will go there
I'll continue
myself.
investigating, but
I will go there myself with you and have Elias protect me, stay with me, while you snoop around and see what you can find.
Elias, what do you think?
I think a certain key to this is having the son with us, because that is the thing that will mend this relationship.
An excellent point.
I can send for him, but you understand that protecting me and this boy may be outside your capabilities? One of us, I understand, you could probably protect us quite easily. You're doubling the risk with more of my blood in their house.
If we have just the boy, I think that's a good enough sign of your word that you're willing to talk to them at least.
Ha ha! Yes, yes, take him. It's in my stead, by all means.
What do you think about this, Jack?
The notion that it is a higher probability. The notion, more people, more targets, more dangerous. It's true. I think carrying word of the boy's willingness to be wed is probably sufficient.
Shall I send for my son?
Please do.
Yes.
He walks up to the door that Jack is standing in front of, that he closed. And looks like he wants you to open the door for him.
Sigh and open the door for him.
And he nods, and then he walks upstairs. A few moments later, he comes down with a young man and says, "This is Victor Volakovich. Victor, these people have very important business. It is time for you to accept some of the responsibilities that will come to you in inheriting this village. It's time for you to earn your keep. Instead of toying around in the attic all the time, you will accompany these people to the Watcher House. And when he says the Watcher House, Victor rolls his eyes and he says, "Ugh, Father, not those droll people again with their crazy daughter. You know I dislike them so." And Victor,
why is that, Victor?
Victor looks at you and says, "That girl just doesn't interest me. My interests lie in more of an academic area, not some stupid marriage to someone to help better her family in our town."
Tell me, are you the one who caused that spectacular light show I glimpsed earlier?
"I'm not sure what you mean." And he gives a willing, like, wide-eyed look over to his dad and then back to you, as if he's saying, you know, my dad's right there. That kind of teenager look. Like, don't narc on me, bro.
I see. I see, yes. I suppose I could be mistaken. I could also go into more detail about it if you weren't, say, willing to listen to a proposal.
I am all ears.
I thought you might be. Come, let's take a walk.
Victor. Don't know what he's talking about, but be careful. Be careful on your journey. You're my only son. And do your best to make amends with the Watchers. More than what you realize depends on it. And he doesn't touch his son at all. He doesn't approach him to even say goodbye as he shoos you off and leads you out of the mansion. And as you get outside the mansion, you see a strangely beautiful woman just on the other side of the street. And let me just share the map again. She's looking directly at all of you as you come out. And she looks like she might be waiting for you to leave the mansion. But of course, you have to finish your business there and tell me what you'd like to do.
Stop. Look at the woman. Look back at Elias and Jeeves and the boy. Then back at the woman. Are you an assassin?
April, what would you like to reply?
What kind of a question is that?
An honest one. And one right in line. Be you succubus, vampire, odd sort of pie-selling beauty. I'm not sure. We've had an interesting week.
What does she look like, Mike?
Well, I'll let her describe herself.
Maybe a plant demon. Are you a plant demon?
Alexandra's corpse and Belinsky are, by the way, staying behind at the Burgomaster's mansion.
I still have the doll.
Okay.
Where the hell is the picture?
Let's not show that picture.
Damn.
Mmm.
Alright, 1 second. She's wearing a green dress. The material looks almost silken. It's got details of lace around the bodice and the sleeves. Some gold filigree work along the corset. She's wearing a very simple choker, and her long blonde hair is drawn up into a tight bun. simply replies back to Jack and smiles. And what would you do if I were?
That wasn't my thunder.
Yes, it's still raining outside the mansion. That was not
You
my
have yet to
master.
answer me. You're a plant demon.
I don't think she's a demon, Jack.
Please, I'm not quite that lowly.
Not quite that lowly. How lowly are you?
Would you like to find out?
My friend here could use your services more than I. He's a psychological eunuch as of right now. Completely inexperienced. Man of the cloth.
Thanks for the introduction.
I see. This could prove to be an interesting
The
encounter
legend
after all.
told way back in days of old. Just look at Elias and threaten.
I didn't hear that, and I think that's a good thing.
I wasn't told you'd be so amusing.
Oh, of course you were sent. Can you just tell us by who?
That's for me to know and you to find out, little boy.
Oh, so no, of course you can't. Do you actually have business with us, or are you here to see the burgomaster after we leave? A mistress, perhaps?
I'm simply curious. You look like you could use some company.
Yes, we could. Stand next to the one in the armor.
Hey,
He's buff, shiny. Understand that's attractive.
You're all attractive. I don't play favorites.
what is going on here?
What do you hear?
I do believe you have business, gentlemen. Should you be on your way?
Yes, I suppose we should. Could I get your name, miss? I'm Elias.
She hooks her arm in his elbow. You may call me Lilith.
Lilith. Pleasure. And he just kind of shuffles uncomfortably. He tries to start walking and not attempting to keep hold of her, but not forcing out of it either.
You seem shy. I like that.
Are you sure you're not a succubus?
Would you like me to be?
Maybe. It makes dealing with you much easier.
I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you for now, gentlemen. Let's be on our way.
Give Jack a confused look and just start walking.
All right, arm in arm with your new friend Lilith, you start walking to the Watcher House. She appears like she has no intention of leaving you. And eventually, you trek north through the streets long enough to see the Watcher House again, which, once again, the house looks disgusted with itself. It's slouching and overgrown, moss-covered, and just old and untaken care of. It's just, it looks like if it could groan, it would. And the last time you were in, you actually heard it groan a bit when you entered. So you can approach. Just let me know how you want to approach the house.
Victor,
Should we have a good talk with Victor?
You said that your interests lay in the realms of academia. Would that be the arcane realms?
Yes. If you must know, you obviously have seen something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking. But my father doesn't know my studies.
And he still doesn't. He's not wonderfully perceptive at times.
Are you a wizard?
I'm many things. Daddy. Some of them magical, some of them not so much. Hold my fingers up and make fire dance in my palm. Minor illusion.
He raises an eyebrow and is very impressed by your minor illusion. And he says, have you experience in teleportation circles?
Well, actually, I have been thinking of something, but not as yet.
Interesting. You see, my father thinks he can save this town simply by unifying everyone in happiness, which I think is total tripe. And I believe my arcane studies will lead me to teleport everyone in our village out of this cursed domain. The young boy looks a little too like his father, not to his benefit.
A noble endeavor, actually, but you should keep your eye open and think of many more ways that you might save people.
Well, once I become obsessed with a solution, I see it through its end.
So you want to save the town?
Yes, and until I know that this is a dead-end path to do so, I will try my hardest.
You have something that does mark the greatest of wizards and magicians from where we are from.
I appreciate the compliment. What would that be?
You have focus.
Indeed. Too bad it wasn't on the Watcher Girl. Everyone else would have rather liked that, I believe. So unfortunate the way she took the news, that I cared nothing for her.
Actually, I think that you're looking at this all wrong.
How's that?
Soundboard.
You have before you the chance to secure the future of the village.
Yes, my father said I had a duty to perform. What is it that you'd have me do today?
Why not consider marrying the girl?
Fine, if I must. But you must
Let me explain.
promise that you must teach me how to teleport, and then I will take her hand in marriage.
If I discover it, if my thoughts pan out, I will certainly teach you what I know. As I said, I've been working on it. I think once I gather a little bit more power, I'll be able to put something in motion.
Yes, well, whether the girl is batshit insane or not, I will do it if you promise to teleport.
I so swear. That being said, let me explain a bit further my logic. There are people who seek to secure the town for themselves. You are in something of a lucky position to avoid that. Beyond that, you're also in a marriage, even in one you do not devote wholly your attention to right now, could serve your studies better in the future.
I don't see how a wife that enjoys cat toys will bring me any prosperity in marriage, but
From what I understand, that part's new.
not so new. It's been this way for about a year.
Have you given thought to the comforts a wife will provide?
Not necessarily. Those things don't
Well-
interest me.
I could
Well,
make
you're
them.
young yet. You are yet young. Beyond that, I wasn't even talking, well, a little bit. It can certainly be fun and a useful release and distraction. Clears the mind wonderfully.
With that, he looks over at Lilith and begins to blush. You think that this may be the first time this teenage boy had ever blushed.
You should do that more. It will make people think better of you.
He dips his head down a little in embarrassment.
No, that is completely human. That's a very nice way to react. It's part of the reason your father has such problems with the town.
He saw Lilith was about to say something and is looking
No,
at
she
him.
just smirks in victory.
Oh.
Victor, as you might can tell, I'm a man of the cloth, as they say, a priest, cleric, and you have my word that this man is quite the wizard. I've seen himself. I've seen him split himself into multiple images. We have fought multiple jacks before. I've seen many manners of wizardry come from this man. I do not doubt his word.
For that matter, actually, use minor illusion to sort of replicate. It's not going to work perfectly, but it should make another me. Just make another me. That's within the bounds of the spell.
Yeah, sure. You make it look just like you, actually.
And this is deja vu, but you can see what I mean.
Yes. Well, as I said, the terms are set. If you wish to marry me off to this insane cat lady, I will expect to teleport this entire town to a better life.
And maybe the girl
I
will
can set you on the path.
I'm afraid
But I
that's-
want you to think of her not as an obligation, but something to better yourself.
Have you met this girl?
No, actually, but we did hear her meowing from down below. I intend to speak to this girl. I'm telling you all this, and I'm still trying to convince you because you will have to make it sound like you want to marry this girl now.
To be honest, that would be easier if you gave me a reason to think that I would, in any way, like to be married to this girl.
Well, as I said, aside from pleasures of the flesh, wives are very utility. Are grand. Look, do you want to make your own food your entire life, clean your own clothes, or do you want to have more time to devote to your studies?
I would prefer my food not be a rat fetched from the field and placed at my feet
Oh.
proudly.
I forgot, we are going to try to fix the girl's cat problem.
That would be impressive.
I said try, but
Even before that, she was not all that impressive to me, though.
you're both young.
She's a wife, not an anchor, little boy.
With that, he blushes and can't make eye contact with you.
Oh, look, Demon Lady's actually being helpful. I like that.
That's kind of rude, Jack. Whispers.
Rude, nothing. She's given me no reason not to think so.
Whispers. Is she really a demon?
I don't know. I'm considering her one until proven otherwise at this point.
It is considered rude to speak about one as if one is not here.
Yeah, she was like arm in arm with you when you said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me fix that. Turn to her, look directly in her eyes. I believe you are a succubus or some other type of demon, and will continue to do so until proven otherwise.
At which point she grabs him by the shirt collar and kisses him full on the mouth.
Wow.
That was lovely. Actually, that was very lovely. It's been quite some time since I've been kissed like that. But it doesn't help your case at all. But it does make me want to kiss
Who
you
said
again,
anything
so
about trying to help my
maybe
case?
that's for later.
Elias backs away and joins Victor in awkwardness.
Awesome. Okay, well, all of the awkward boners can enter the match, and if you'd like.
Jax is not the least bit awkward. He is displaying it quite proudly.
Mr. Chiefs, are you
Unabashed
still
and
here?
Yeah, I'm just slowly walking behind, shaking my head.
Okay. Silent, but
That's right.
yeah. The view
I'm
from the
sure-
back of the party is the best view, right?
Yeah,
As Lilith turns
yeah.
and looks over her shoulder and winks to Jeeves.
I just scowl. I'm still in grief.
Aw.
I can fix that.
Okay, well, Ernst actually opens the front door and walks all the way to your little group of friends.
So
And
how
he
much have you
says-
heard?
Ernst says, I did not notice that you're out here. But now that I see,
Bullshit.
you've brought me the Burgomaster's son. This is amazing. Thank you. Come, please,
Does
come
he-
inside.
Okay.
Uh,
Excellent.
You can tell he's ready to kill this kid. Like, this is... he thinks that you're delivering him a present, as in... this
Yes,
is
I
gonna
get
be
the
first
idea.
one.
I get the idea. Push the boy into Elias's arms. Hold this.
Indeed. Got him.
Alright. Suddenly, Victor looks a little uncomfortable, but he sticks close to Elias, understanding the way he said got him, like he feels protected.
You'll be fine, my friend.
Look at the boy and say, wizards must learn to control their emotions. And wink.
He just shrugs. He doesn't know what's going on. And then Ernst invites you all into the dilapidated house. Lady Watcher is there in the foyer, there to greet everyone. And she says, "Oh, come in, come in. I see you've brought a gift." And she brings everyone back to the living room area next to the hearth. And she says, "You've once again graced us with your presence. Hopefully this time it'll be on the verge of a revolution. A new era for this town."
Yes, indeed, a new era. One of peace and understanding, friendship and brotherhood.
Yes, and I see you have brought the first to set us on the path. And she nods at Ernst, and Ernst begins walking over to Elias
hell
and
no.
Victor.
Turn and look at Ernst. Not like that. It's rude.
Suddenly, understanding that you have a different idea about how to kill this boy, Ernst pauses and lets you continue.
Come here. Let me show you something.
Yes, well, first, let me congratulate you on slaying Izek Strozny. You have done this town a great favor. You've brought justice to many wronged people.
We brought justice to our friends, whom he murdered.
Palms.
And Victor's just now learning this part, right?
Victor doesn't know what's going on. He's just learning stuff that he can't put quite together.
But he just heard that we killed Ezek.
Yes, he just learned that Ezek's dead, but he doesn't understand why that's a good thing.
All right.
Neither does the doll.
Anyway, so yes, we bring the boy to you. He wishes to offer his apologies for your daughter's state. He wishes to extend this. Hand Lady Watcher the invitation.
She giggles a little and says, "Surely you jest. Surely."
I assure you, I'm quite serious.
He does jest, though. Pretty well.
She snatches the letter from your hands and unceremoniously rips open the envelope and pulls forth the letter that Baron Velakovich had scrawled. And she's kind of mumble reading it to herself. "Invited for come to my mansion." What? This is preposterous. Yes, we have every intention on coming to his mansion, but not as guests.
Oh, but he's invited you as guests. Told all of his servants to expect you. Half of the town is expecting you arrive at this time.
Go ahead and roll for deception. Oh, surely there's not been enough time for any plans to have been made for a town that... You surely do not speak the truth. I don't believe you.
Well, the truth is, the boy has agreed to marry your daughter.
Is this true? And she looks over at Victor with disgust. And Victor says, "Yes, ma'am," and he bows a very formal and practiced bow and says, "I have seen the errors of my ways. My preoccupation in my studies had distracted me from the finer things in life, and I wish to get to know your daughter better, and I seek to right the wrongs that I had caused her in this state that she is in. I feel it is my responsibility to make the rest of her life meaningful and comfortable." And she looks over at Jack, and she's giving him a puzzled look, like, why would he say that the town's expecting this? And she audibly turns that thought into, "Yes, well, it seems that you have a motive here. You wish to reconcile our houses. I don't believe you that the town has been alerted to any such kind of meeting for reconciliation, but that's obviously your goal. Tell me why."
Half the town is perhaps a bit exaggeration, but believe me when I say I've made it clear to everyone we've crossed paths with. That being said, because I want what's best for Vallaki, as does my compatriot. Ezek Strozny was not what was best for Vallaki. The current Baron Velakovich, not best for Vallaki. On his own, he has good points and good merits. I've seen them. As you, your own house, have good points and good merits. You actually complement each other quite nicely. Your two houses. You're the two grandest in Vallaki. It seems a match made in whatever passes for heaven in this part of the universe.
Well, heaven is very real, but surely you jest. The Baron's family is...
Oh, believe me, when I tell a joke, it's funny.
They've tortured this town with these silly festivals time after time. And at that, Victor says, "Yes, all that will come to an end once my father's station as burgomaster is passed to me. Let's just entertain him until then."
Yes, I made a point to speak to him that
Make
he
it
should
nice
come.
and legal.
Yeah.
What was that, Elias?
Yes, I made a point to implore to the Burgermaster to stop the nonsense with the rituals and the festivals.
Now, how did he take that suggestion?
He had his
Well,
dog.
after Elias cut his dog in half, he was quite receptive.
Yes, basically.
Yes, he's had people put in the stocks, little boys in all sorts of manner of ridiculous punishments for not wanting to adhere to his stupid festivals constantly.
Yes. Yes, but after a thunderous smite from my longsword to his mastiff, he changed his mind.
That sounds
More
interesting.
than-
Perhaps you can show me that move later.
Elias's countenance changes entirely and shifts around.
Such a strong warrior, so inexperienced with women. At any rate, there's nothing wrong with the festival every now and again, but from what I understand, it's reached levels of excessiveness here. That being said, the boy has a grand head on his shoulders, and the Burgomaster, for all his faults, all his nonsense, all his paranoia, and has managed to lead the town and keep it safe for the reign of his lifetime. He has his merits.
I would rather serve the devil himself than that idiot. But
You're not serving anyone. By doing this, you are serving yourself. You are serving your house, and you are serving your city to the best of your ability. By doing this, you become, if not in title, a co-ruler of this town. Surely someone of your political stature understands the need of acting through others on occasion. Manipulations, words of comfort here and there, words of encouragement, and especially through someone to whom the Burgomaster would be receptive. Pat the boy's shoulder.
while all of this enthralling conversation has gone on, Jeeves has managed to remain silent and sneaky, and has slipped away in a manner that he has gone unnoticed. Mr. Jeeves, you may...
Pocketing all of the silverware in the meantime.
Yes. What would you like to do with your moment of no one really is aware of your existence?
Last time I did this, I started a...
That's true.
I'm not going to look inside anything, but I'm going to see what's laying around. I'm going to snoop around to see if...
Okay.
Where are we located in this building?
You're all in the den, right where I've got the token for head of the household here. Is this appearing on everyone's screen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The entryway had several doors that led to other places. I can put you in here if you'd like. Actually, let me get the combat tracker icons. They look a little better.
Combat tracker.
No, just not for combat. I just want to show generally where people are.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm fairly free to wander around, I see.
I don't know where to place you guys there. It's good enough. Yeah, Ernst and Lady Watcher, Jack, and Elias and Lilith are all in the den, while you have quietly slipped wherever. You tell me. Where do you want to go?
Oh no.
They had quite a long conversation. You'll have a few minutes here.
I'll have a quick peek through some doors.
All right, that door. Okay, you open this door. Let me get my map sharing. There we go. This room has, let's see, another door here and here. There's two doors that lead to other rooms. This room appears to be a kitchen. You see a someone cooking in this kitchen. Looks like the house cook. They're rushing around this spotless kitchen and preparing a meal. And it's a male. He stands at a wash basin in the northeast corner. There's a slender door in the west wall that leads to a small pantry that's kind of open a bit. It looks like he was just getting something out of there. So
Okay.
it looks like you can either proceed through the kitchen to the north or explore somewhere else.
I'm gonna sneak upstairs.
Sure. And when you get upstairs, that will be completely other part of the map. You'll have to pan up for that. Let me know when you get up there.
I'm not sure I want to.
Yeah, it looks like it lands in a hallway with a window at each end that wraps around the staircase railing. Framed portraits and mirrors festoon the walls surrounding you with judging looks and dark reflections. You hear something scratching at one of the many doors.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go near that one. Okay, what's down here?
You see it ends in a window and there's another door. And beyond the scratching door, which was this one that you hear the scratching from, you hear a little
Yeah, that doesn't sound overly friendly.
You don't like cats?
Depends how big it is.
This one's probably really big from the sound of the purring.
Yeah.
But the purring doesn't quite sound exactly like a cat. It sounds more like a person trying to make a cat purr sound.
Interesting. Okay. I'm just gonna knock on the door very gently.
As soon as you do, you hear "Nyan, nyan."
Oh, I'm gonna regret it if I open that door.
There's also a set of double doors a little bit more to the north, and then there's two other doors that lead elsewhere.
Ah.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's actually a couple of more doors on the east side of the hall. There's lots of doors here.
Yeah, just a couple. Alright, I'm gonna open this door.
It is locked.
Of course it is. Yeah, that's not good enough to pick it.
Nope.
Alright. What about the door to the south? Is that pickable? Is that open?
Move to the door. Okay. That door is not locked. You
Do I
open
hear
it and
anything
see.
inside?
Oh,
Okay. No,
Well,
that's fine.
I'm assuming. Sorry, my bad.
I'm sneaky as possible because
Yes.
last time.
You peek in and you see this bedroom contains nothing out of the ordinary. A neatly made bed, a table with an oil lamp on it, a handsome wooden chest, a slender wardrobe, and a window box with drapes. No one appears to be in the bedroom at the time.
Is handsome wooden box locked?
Let's see here. No, it is not locked. And in the box, you just see regular, like, clothes and things to... just basic living things that one might need. There's nothing important or shiny.
Okay.
Distinct lack of books. Whoever is a resident of this bedroom doesn't care to read.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
You see some muddy boot prints. but nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. Yeah. Let me go back and check this one.
Okay. It's not locked. You can open it if you'd like.
Do I hear anything inside?
No.
Okay, I'll slowly open it.
Alright, and when you do, you find this bedroom is very much like the last one that you just left. Just a mirrored version of it.
Yeah. Okay. I know the double door's going to open a big room and there's more chance of seeing somebody in there. Let's try this little room down here.
Sure. That just opens up to a closet.
Ah. And sheets for bandages.
Yes, you can find sheets.
How long's passed? Do I need to get back downstairs?
No, you've been swiftly moving through. Not a lot of time has passed. They're still in conversation downstairs about Victor and the state of what's going on with the absence of Ezek and what that means to the town.
Has the party noticed that he's gone, or are they unaware as well?
Jeeves is normally really silent, so you can best judge for yourself how often you think about Jeeves and if you would have noticed his absence. I'll let you decide that.
I'm going to say we're really focused and distracted on what we're doing, so Elias probably hasn't noticed yet, which is too bad.
I have.
Yeah, the girl might, Lilith might have, but it doesn't really matter.
I'll make a roll, but Jack trusts Jeeves to do what must be done.
Okay. Alright, Jeeves, looks like you still have some time.
Okay, let's check this door then.
Alright. This one
I don't know how
is locked.
Is there any noises coming from the door?
It is silent as the mouths of the dead.
Okay, I'm gonna try and pick it.
Go ahead.
Oh, key.
You spend a minute,
guess,
does not open.
I guess the death of my lady is throwing me off my game.
Yes, you feel grievely distracted. Grievely, is that an adjective? It is now. Grievously distracted, maybe?
Yes.
I don't know.
Gravely also would have been acceptable.
Yeah, that's a word too.
You could try again, or you could explore elsewhere.
Yeah, okay, let me try again.
Okay. You spend another minute, but can't quite seem to pop that lock. You feel like you've almost got it, though. If you do it again, you can have advantage on the roll, but it will be the last opportunity to pick it. Oh, excellent.
There we go.
Finally, a 24. Yes, after about 5 minutes, you trick the lock into opening, and across from the door, fire sputters and struggles for life in the hearth, above which hangs a framed family portrait, a noble father and mother, their 2 young sons, a baby daughter in the father's arms. The sons are smiling in a way that suggests mischief. The parents look like uncrowned royalty. Wood paneling covers the walls of this room. A closet and framed mirror flank a curtained window to the south. To the north, a wide canopy bed lies pinned between matching end tables with oil lamps. Stretched out on one side of the bed is a man dressed in black, his eyes each covered with a copper piece. He bears a striking resemblance to the father in the painting.
Nice. I'm guessing he's not amongst the living.
No, he definitely looks dead. But you can't tell how long. His corpse is not rotting at all.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. I'm going to close the door again.
Alright. The door closes and remains unlocked.
Can I lock it with my tools?
That would be considerably much harder than picking a lock.
Let's give it one roll. Nope. Okay.
Yes, no success there.
I'll leave it unlocked. Okay. Let me try the cat door again.
Go ahead. No
Ah.
luck. But as you're fiddling around with the lock, you see an eye on the other side of the hole peeking through.
Oh. I guess Jeeves is a little startled to see an eye. Hello?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
your
yeah.
name?
Bring you in treats.
What treats would you like?
Fishy, fishy.
I will see what I can do. Alright. Did I see any fish in the kitchen by any chance?
No.
That would have been too easy.
You remember your deceased friend had mentioned that the lake had dried up. No one has caught any fish in a long time. But there's a
That's true.
very large lake right outside of the town.
I have a frog on a stick.
Yes.
Oh my
you do.
god.
Yes, you do.
How long has that been sitting in your bag?
Since the death house.
What else I got? I'm pretty sure she doesn't want mincemeat pies.
That would
Yes,
be,
give her a child pie.
yeah.
You have some of those?
Oh yeah, he took them all. He took all of
Okay.
those pies.
I shall return with a fish.
Yeah.
Alright. Do I hear anything on this side of the door?
Yes. Roll a perception check.
Oh, gee.
Wow.
Okay.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna go back down to the kitchen.
That was great. Yes.
Oh, that's terrible.
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Back down to the
Mentally.
kitchen. You see the
Alright.
servant still
Right.
hastily busy. It's a lot farther down on the map if you'd like to go down there.
Yeah. Alright, let's see if I can do this stealthily. Well, do you think I'd need to do it stealthily? That's the question. Probably.
Ooh. Yeah, you feel sneaky. You got that sneaky feeling.
Okay, I'm gonna sneak into the pantry real quick and see if there's any fish.
Okay. You sneak in the pantry, and the only fish you could find is some dried fish.
Okay, I'm gonna grab some of that and scurry back upstairs.
Okay. You return to the door upstairs with the dried fish.
Yeah. Is my disco still working?
Yes, we hear you.
Huh, weird. Okay, it's not beeping for me. Okay, so I'm gonna
That's a
knock on the
good
door
thing.
again.
Beeping is terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock on the door and ask the cat person if this fish would do.
How are you going to show them the fish on that side of the door?
Hopefully there's a gap under the door. or
yes,
some
it's
kind of
quite
opening.
dusty though.
I'm gonna hold it up to the keyhole then, so I can sniff it.
Okay, you hear. Yen yen, doki doki.
Okay, I'm gonna try and would it fit under the door?
Yes, you think you could slide some under the dusty door?
Okay, I'll slide a piece under the door.
All right. She eagerly snatches it, and you can hear her munch on it. And then she starts making sounds like It sounds like she might be rubbing her body on the door.
Soundboard decided to take a vacation again.
Oh.
Actually, no, that was
Just can't hear us.
that was Mark.
Mr. Jeeves needs to restart his Discord, I believe.
Damn.
As for the soundboard, I'm not really using it for anything at the moment. And I don't think Mark is on Discord at the moment. So let's use this opportunity to go back downstairs to our conversation with Lady Watcher. You've been trying to convince her that the right thing to do is marry off her daughter. And she says, I don't think my daughter's condition will be any better by this union. She's been driven and mad by this boy's rejection. Although it would serve as a purpose to gain control of the city, but we could do this by force. Why would we not?
We intend to help your daughter as well.
Because revolution breeds revolution, and it is entirely possible that we may find a way to help your daughter. It's in the plan.
If you can help my daughter and she agrees willingly to marry and forgive this boy, then I agree. And if not, I don't see any reason why we should alter our plans to take this by force.
Because revolution breeds revolution, and you yourself will likely be ousted in the next several years.
I think you underestimate the preparations I've made for this day. The day that
It's funny, the Baron said exactly the same thing.
Yes, well, my book club is quite considerably powerful.
We will seek to help your daughter. Where is she?
She is upstairs.
Also, it would be in your best interests to continue, at least with the perception of civility. It can only help your cause.
I suppose I should take a moment to type to Mr. Jeeves here what's going on.
Hey, come here.
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
Welcome back. Okay, so while you were gone, all you heard was some purring on the other side, and it sounded like she's rubbing her body on the door. She really liked the fish.
Well, good then.
And Jack is currently asking, what now?
It would do you best to be civil with the Baron when he's trying to make amends publicly. It can only help your cause, one way or another.
I disagree. I believe that the tension that he has forced upon this town with his silly festivals all the time has positioned us in a place where that frustration can be used against him. Everyone that dislikes these festivals will band together and be on my side to see them end in a...
Think of it from a peasant's perspective.
Yes, exactly. They wish to see this man destroyed.
They don't greatly care. Elias, would you disagree with that?
I would not disagree. That is certainly the truth.
To them, the upper strata are exactly that, separate and aloof. One is as good as another, is as good as another, is as terrible as another. You're giving them simultaneously far too much credit and far too little. You had the good fortune of being born wise, noble, intelligent, into a good family. Not everyone has that.
Yes, let me
We
stop
move in
you
circles
there.
where...
As you are trying to convince me of something I've already agreed upon, and that is if you cure her of her mental issues, then I will marry her off. If that is what she wishes to do. She was quite enamored with the boy in the past.
That
Tell
sounds.
me, what happened? Did she go to sleep and wake up thinking she was a feline? Did it happen immediately?
No, we left the two alone for a while, and when they parted ways, she was completely different.
Really? Turn to Victor.
He does not make eye contact with you.
I see. Okay, yes, I think we may be able to do something.
Well, shall we go meet her then, Jack?
Yes.
Very well then.
Victor, if you please.
Ernst, show them to Stella's room. And everyone, except Lady Watcher, she stays behind. She says, Victor, if you wouldn't mind staying with me, I don't know how the sight of you will affect her.
Oh no, Victor is coming. Actually, I'll stay with Victor. I want to speak with him anyway. Do you mind if we have a moment alone outside?
I would prefer you stay inside. I can excuse myself from the room if you wish.
Good enough.
Very well then. She walks this way and then enters a door over here.
Look at Victor. Just give him hard dad eyes.
Is this while Ernst is still with you? Or are you waiting for them to leave?
I'm waiting for them to leave.
Okay.
Until then, I've got my arm around his shoulder. I'm very smiley, very happy, very containing my rage.
All right.
Hiding.
Elias and Ernst and Lilith all go upstairs and discover Jeeves pushing dried fish underneath a very dusty door.
Do I get a chance to hide?
No, you're caught unawares. Yeah, you would hear those creaky stairs. They were
Yeah,
quite
there's a door down there too.
right. Yeah. So yeah, sure. If you would like, you could hide.
Yeah.
My, you do get into some mischief, don't you?
You do feel like you haven't really broken any social norms, though. You're just kind of in a spot
Just
that you're not
sliding
supposed
fish
to
under
be.
a door.
Yeah.
So do we
That's
Uh,
normal, right?
do we see him or not?
It depends on
Yeah.
if Jeeves wants you to see him or not.
Yeah, I'll stay there.
Okay.
Well,
Yes, and
I'll go into stealth mode, but I'll stay local.
well, I mean, you're either hiding or you're not.
And he rolls a natural 20 for it.
Right. Like as you're hearing coming up, you can definitely go to a different part and hide. You can't hide directly in front of the door, of course, but
I'll blend back in without knowing.
Where are you,
Excellent,
you delicious
okay.
little man?
So everyone goes up the stairs, and Jeeves was like in one of the bedrooms and sneakily comes out behind everyone as if he just followed everyone up
There you go.
when he heard you approaching the stairs. So suddenly Jeeves is back with you as if you don't even know if he ever was gone.
There you are, you delicious little man.
No, like you don't. Well, I didn't have you roll perception, but Jeeves
you have
had
no
a
idea.
27. He rolled a natural 20, so he automatically succeeds at. He was never gone, and he is now with you like he always was. But Ernst produces a key and begins to open the door to Stella's room. At the same time, downstairs, Victor and Jack are having a conversation on the couches.
Look at him. Just directly in his eyes. Spill.
I did not know any charms would work. I think I may have accidentally bewitched her. I don't know. It could be all mental.
Oh, I know you accidentally bewitched her. There was no question in my mind about what happened.
Well, I don't
What
know
did
how
you
to
use?
fix it. I don't know how to fix it.
I don't expect you would. Amateurs rarely know how to fix the mistakes they make.
There's...
Once, I'll tell you the story of a man who summoned a demon. He got everything he wanted and then ended up in hell. It's a very gripping story.
I was researching a way out of guilt to see if I could help her, and I think some kind of restoration type spell was what was needed. But it's nothing that I have access to.
Tell me, do you know the difference between arcane and divine?
Yes, I'm no fool. And you can kind of tell he is a fool. The way that he was impressed by you just making a minor illusion lets you know that this kid doesn't know shit about magic, but he just tries.
You're a talented amateur, but nothing more than that.
I beg to differ. I've managed to conjure many impressive feats in the attic. You said you saw the flashes yourself.
Yes, I saw bright flashes of light. Without breaking pause, just...
You just want to create some light. Some flashes of light. I think I lost you, Logan. Are you still there?
Minor illusion, multiple colors, multiple shapes. Make a dragon. Make it eat him.
Okay. He gets the point that you're not impressed.
At the snap of my finger. These are cantrips, boy. The barest inklings of magic. The least of what I can do. You have the potential for greatness, but you need to understand your limits before you can go beyond them.
Well, regardless, I don't know if I'm guilty or not, but I think that it would be worth trying to cast a restoration spell on the girl. Don't know if she'll be more trouble than she's worth. I quite like the idea of her being a pet rather than someone I have to please and keep up with.
Oh, Lord, child, you have so much to learn. You already listened that they were going to kill you, right?
Yes, I did gather that.
That's the kind of people you're dealing with here. But if you please them, if you make them happy, if you make yourself an asset to them and the city, they will be grand allies. You need shadowy motherfuckers. Something your father has never understood until recently.
Speaking of those shadowy motherfuckers, upstairs, Ernst has opened the door and revealed Stella. You get to meet for the first time. Stella's room. This room is musty and dark. An iron-framed bed fitted with leather straps stands near the wall. The place has no other furnishings. Scurrying away from you on all fours is a young woman in a soiled nightgown. She leaps onto the bed and hisses like a cat. "Little kitty doesn't know you," she shouts. "Little kitty doesn't like the way you smell," and she hisses.
Well, I thought she was in a good mood because we just fed her the fish.
You didn't feed her.
A bunch of people just showed up, and she seems startled.
Maybe I can try and calm her down.
Yeah, as you approach Jeeves, you can see a bit of recognition on her face that she saw you through the keyhole, and she knows you're the one that gave her the fish. But all of these other people are making her nervous, aside from Ernst.
Okay. I motion for them to stay outside the room, and I'll enter the room.
Okay. Would everyone like to agree?
Yes.
Lilith?
Sure.
All right. And Ernst will too. Ernst gives you a kind of look while he's holding the doorknob, as in he wants to know if you want him to close it or not.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. So now you find yourself alone with this this soiled and obviously insane girl.
I smile and I'll open my hands, palm up, so she can smell them.
Yes, and she does. She smells your hand and begins to lick your hand, to lick your fingers.
Can you understand what I say?
And she just purrs and rubs her face on your hand.
So these people who are outside, they're scary, but they mean you no harm. And if they do mean you harm, I will protect you.
She starts to rub on your legs.
Hey,
I'd like to rub on his legs.
oh hush. Okay. I lost my track of thought there. Okay. Do you want me to bring it? Shush.
I'm sorry, is the blood rushing away from your brain, my dear?
Yes, that's hilarious.
He's in there alone, right?
Right, he is, but it's still funny. Yeah, but okay, go ahead,
Thankfully.
Jeeves.
Good lord. Okay, so I'm gonna open the door, and we'll just bring in one of them, and he'll mean you no harm. He's a friend of mine.
Okay, who are you bringing in? Elias?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me?
Yes.
Yep.
Lilith,
You
you're,
sound so surprised.
Me?
Lilith, you're left with Ernst as the door closes. What would you like to do?
Snog him in the hallway.
I'm sorry, did you say snog him in the hallway?
I did.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he will oblige. Elias, what would you like to do?
Let's see.
I think he's torn.
So Elias kind of kneels down, walks towards the cat, and says, "Hello, little kitty. How are you?"
I'll calm the kitty. I calm the kitty. Calm.
Okay, Jeeves starts petting her and she starts to relax a little.
Yeah, he's a friend. I motion for Elias to be slow and make slow movements.
Okay.
She likes fish. Have you brought any fish?
Where did you find a fish, Jeeves?
Long story.
I see. I really don't know what I can do without Jack and Victor. Okay, so Elias is just kind of slowly trying to warm up the Stella to the idea of people being in the room with her. He's not moving much. He's being quiet. He's smiling.
I'm gonna ask Elias what he's doing up here, because I didn't hear the conversation downstairs, so I don't know that this cat has a name or anything.
Yeah, but I don't know how much I want to tell you, considering I'm pretty sure she can understand us, and I don't want to alert her to Victor coming yet.
Okay.
So Elias doesn't say anything.
Oh, this is.
I will
awkward.
start upstairs with Victor after we've finished talking.
Okay, so Jeeves, would you like to do anything? You hear someone starting up the stairs.
I'm just gonna scratch her behind the ears.
She likes that a lot.
I'd like that a lot.
I'm just gonna keep her calm until I guess Jack gets here.
Yeah, as you scratch, like dandruff is just pouring out of her head.
Nice.
Following the sounds of snogging, I'll leave Victor in the hallway, like poking him in the forehead. Stay here. Wait for us. Don't move. If someone tries to touch you, Yell out as loud as you can.
And Victor says, even her?
By the time Jack arrives upstairs, she's totally done snogging him, by the way.
Oh, okay. But he still points and asks if she's an exception to that rule.
Especially her. You can yell out, yes, yes, please, but yell as loud as you can.
Very well, then.
I'll keep his mouth far
In fact,
too busy
yes.
for that.
Yell, yes, yes, harder, faster.
I'll keep his mouth far too busy for that.
Yeah. He begins blushing, and the joking, jovial nature of that became way too much for him suddenly. Okay, so Jack, what would you like to do now that you are free of your Victor watching?
Walk into the room. I don't know, there's an angry cat.
Yes, when you come in, she kind of leaves Jeeves's ear scratching and goes to the corner of the room where it looks like she normally tries to use the bathroom.
Nice.
That's what Jack does.
That is a very appropriate role, and you can see that she's now a lot more comfortable with you. She's not as on edge, and goes back to Mr. Jeeves and rubs on his leg.
Just like you would with a normal cat, like Elias did. Slow motions, calm, it's okay, see, sniff me, I make small movements.
Yeah, she sniffs
After
your
she's
hand.
a little more comfortable with me, turn to Elias and say, after conferring with my magical compatriot, my young, enthusiastic, not so great with thinking through consequences colleague, I believe a restoration type spell would be of best assistance. In Thieves' Cant to Jeeves, as softly as I can, it's fucking Victor. He fucking did it.
Victor's downstairs. Oh, is that
Actually, no, don't do that.
Okay.
What a
Ernst
shame.
is there for you. That suddenly sounds like a terrible idea, and I don't do it. I will tell them later. But yes, leave it with a restoration type spell would be best, looking at Jeeves. Or Elias.
Elias, roll a religion check.
Okay. Religion. These usually are not great.
Nope. What do you know about the restoration type spells? Because that's all you get. No help from the DM.
I know that I don't have any. I don't have anything like that currently learned, and yeah, I don't even know if there's anything at my level that's available for that. Let's see. I'm looking at the wiki right now.
Well, we have the player's handbook in Fantasy Grounds. Well, you know, or you can just Google it. That's fine. Whatever you like.
Painless.
You know that praying for your spells is a lot different than having to learn spells, like a wizard or a sorcerer. I think sorcerers even get a little bit of that benefit, right? Where they don't have to find the magic before they learn it.
So there is lesser restoration. That is a thing.
That is correct, yes. We don't have to learn we don't have to actively seek out spells. I've been having Jack kind of blue mage it as we go along, though.
Right. So I could like pray and attain that, but I would have to rest again before I can do it.
Yeah, and you're fairly certain that that would, if this is a magically afflicted thing, that could right it.
Yes, but my character doesn't actually have access to level 2 spells yet because I have to be a level 3 cleric to have that. So Even though I can use level 2 slot spells, I can only cast a level 1 on a level 2 slot. So,
Mr. Jeeves, you have a friend that you think might be able to help. It's the same doctor that helped you out when you showed up so beat up at the Blue Water Inn.
I do.
Mr. Octavio.
yes, or perhaps the father, one of the priests, may be able to help too.
Yeah.
You think that maybe you are more experienced in the... you think that Donovich probably could have done it, but...
Yeah. Okay. But Lucian wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, you don't think that he's quite up to that experience.
Okay, so Rictavio then, but only Jeeves would think that.
Yes, only Jeeves knows Rictavio as he does. But he can offer that information to everyone if he likes.
Yeah, I'll suggest it to the group. Yeah. Yeah.
The old man with the cane from the inn.
Indeed.
Could he actually help?
I'm pretty sure he could. Probably wouldn't
Can
have
you
to ask
catch him?
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Is that
We'll
what-
stay here with Victor and the demon.
I beg your pardon.
Once again, I'm pretty sure you're a succubus of some.
Mr. Jeeves, would you just like to leave?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get Mr. Rictavio.
All right. As you excuse yourself, where would you like to go? Just straight there, or would you like to sneaky around, or what?
No, I think I'm just gonna head straight there.
Elias tries to scratch Stella in between where her tail would be and the rest of her butt. And she slashes out and scratches him with her very long, unkept, dirty nails. It doesn't cause anything but superficial damage, but she did not.
I like
that.
her.
That was a bad idea.
Mr. Jeeves
Yeah, leave her to Jack.
travels downstairs and then through the rain to the Blue Water Inn, which isn't too far away. And there, as you're kind of getting inside and drying yourself off, you can ask for Rictavio. And the Martikoffs say that he's in his room. So
Okay.
you head up that way, and he greets you at his door, and he says, my old friend Mr. Jeeves, what is it I can help you with, old friend?
Well, I've met a young lady who appears to have been turned into a feline, and we could use your assistance with some kind of restoration spell.
Is she polymorphed into a feline? I don't think I can...
Well, I'm afraid it's beyond my knowledge as to what's happened to her, but if you'd be so kind to accompany me, I could show you.
For old friends such as we, certainly. And
I appreciate it.
he grabs his cane and grabs a thick coat to protect him from the rain and starts heading out with you. And as he's walking, he says, I have, as you know, ways of knowing some of the goings-on around town, and it seems that tensions are high. Can you fill me in, please?
Well, there may be a shift in power coming, I'm not sure. My colleagues will be able to fill you in more on the politics. I try to stay away from politics myself.
There are rumors that Isaac Strozny may be missing. What do you know of this?
Yeah, I've heard he's missing.
You remember this old friend of yours? You've had relations with him even outside of Barovia. You go back a long, long time. So.
Oh, okay. So he's a good friend.
Yes, he is a personal friend of yours that you've known ever since Alexandra was a newborn. That you adopted into the Belmont family.
Okay, so I'll take back my vague answer and tell him that, Isaac killed Alexandra. So
he's British. It's different.
Yeah. I can yes. We say I's, not E's.
What's Brent's excuse?
So yes, we found that he had killed Alexandra, so we killed him.
Alexandra is dead? And he just stops walking and his face goes completely white.
Yes, we have her body in a safe place, but there's some odd goings on, so it's a little hard to explain, but when I was carrying her to the church, I actually ran across the Grim Reaper, and he gave me a scroll, which we could possibly use to resurrect her.
Let me see the scroll, and he crosses himself like you see Catholics do. And
Elias has the scroll currently, but I'm sure he'll be happy to show you.
You were charged to keep her safe, to make sure that she would stay on the path of righteousness and be worthy one day of the vampire killer whip. She has fallen under your care. This is most disheartening news.
Yes. Oh, believe me, I know. Yes, but she was out of my sight when the incident happened, and I rushed her as quick as we could.
I suppose... I don't know, I'm overcome. I don't know how this will affect everything. All that we've worked for.
If there's a way to bring her back, I'll take anything that comes. I want her back more than anyone.
Yes. Well, let us go and see the scroll that you mentioned. And he accompanies you to the Watcher House. When you get back, you go back up to Stella's room where she seems like she's warmed up to Jack, but not Elias so much. Elias has some fresh scratch marks.
I really like her.
When Rictavio sees Lilith, you can see that he is using something you've seen people like him do before, which is like a detect good and evil spell. And he just stops dead in his tracks and grabs Jeeves by the arms and says, "Do you realize that you have some powerful dark being here in your midst? Is she part of the Watchers?"
To be honest, I have no idea whose allegiance she has, but we've been careful with her so far. She kind of joined our group before we came to this house.
The older man raises an eyebrow and looks to Lilith for an explanation and says, "What is your purpose here?"
Somebody needs to keep an eye on this lot, right?
Huh. Interesting. He just eyes you suspiciously and continues to the room where everyone else is. And he says to Jeeves, "I don't know about trusting that one."
Well, believe me, I don't trust her.
Yes. Well, what do we have here? And he looks at the cat girl and says, "I thought you said she had been changed into a cat."
Yeah. I guess.
Oh,
mind if we can.
Rictavio, is it? Elias addresses him.
And he bows.
Pleasure to see you again, sir. I believe that the girl here is in need of lesser restoration, but I do not have access to the spell myself.
And he looks like he just got outed. Like, he looks to Jeeves and says, I see you've informed your friends a bit more than I had expected. Good sirs, would you allow me
no,
to
he just said he had a friend who could help. The only one who outed you was you just now.
Yes, I remember you well. If you would excuse Mr. Jeeves and I alone with this girl for a moment. And he kind of motions you and Elias out the door and closes it behind you. And he
step out the door, shout, Victor, get away from the demon.
Elias gladly exits the room with the cat not being his friend and moves around the others.
She meanwhile had Victor pressed against her breast and was stroking his hair calmingly.
Oh my god.
Yes,
Oh my.
His nose is bleeding, but he doesn't look injured. Octavio whispers to Jeeves, Jeeves, do they know that I'm more than just a carnival keeper, that perhaps my profession extends into something more along the lines of a Belmont?
No, I've told them nothing other than you're a good friend of mine.
Ah, yes, but they know that I can help with the situation. It's obvious.
Your voice went off a bit there, Mike. Did you say Belmont?
Yeah, he said that that he knows, or he gathers that you realize that he's more than a carnival guy, that maybe his profession could align more like with one of those Belmonts.
Okay.
But anyways, yes, he asked that of Jeeves, and Jeeves says that he hasn't really told anyone. And then he said, yes, but they obviously expect that I can do this, that I could help in this situation.
Yes, they are smart. They're a smart group, but I trust them.
Yes, well, if it's lesser restoration that's needed, this will be easy. And the girl doesn't look like she is willing to interact with him at all, but he doesn't care. He just walks straight up to her and begins praying, and forcefully lands a hand on her forehead. And it seems like he has exorcised some sort of demon out of her. She stops acting like a cat instantly, and is looking around the room confused and trying to understand how much time has passed since she last had full control of herself. Like, everything just coming to her at once starts sending her into tears.
Calm down. Do you know who I am?
She just shakes her head no, as she continues to cry.
What's your name?
I'm Stella.
Do you know where you are?
It looks like my room, but it's filthy.
What was the last thing you remember?
I don't know. My parents were talking about marriage and some meeting. It's very foggy.
There are some people outside the door who are eager to meet you. Is it okay if I let them in?
No, I look disgusting. I need time to clean up.
Okay.
What's happened to me?
It's a long story. I'll explain later. The only thing you need to know now is that you're safe and that you're home.
And she just continues to cry and look at her hands, which are filthy, and the crust under her fingernails that she used to scratch Elias with are just disgusting. Her dress is soiled as if she's gone to the bathroom on herself, and just the state of how she's been living is catching up with her. You feel the urge to leave the room. It's so uncomfortable.
So there's no closet in the room? or
No,
anything
no,
else?
it's not. It's just a
Just a bed
barren
and
room.
trash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go look for some clean clothes and water for her.
Yeah, there is a bowl of water in the corner. It looks like she was at least.
I think she needs something more than that to clean herself.
Yeah. You don't recall finding a bathroom.
What kind of house is this?
Well, you haven't opened every door.
That's true.
I don't think we've even seen a bathroom the entire campaign that I remember.
Really?
What kind of weird people are these?
I'm
Okay.
sure you've come across a bathroom, surely. Maybe you just didn't note it because it was a bathroom.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try and calm her down, and I thank Rictavio for his assistance.
Rictavio crosses himself again and says, "This is most disturbing news that Alexandra has passed. I will
It is.
look forward to seeing that scroll you mentioned."
Indeed. But before you leave, what did you find out about that Lilith creature?
She is definitely evil, and I doubt that she is human.
That's good to know. Thanks. I'll let my friends know that. I'm sure Jack's already well aware.
Yes.
He has an insight for these things.
Well, if she is from hell or something, just keep in mind that not all evil creatures are exactly motivated to just maim, kill, and destroy. They may have other motives. You would be wise to discover what they were before you did anything harsh.
That's good advice. Okay, I need to find some clean clothes for this young lady. So,
Shall I take a look at that scroll you mentioned?
oh yeah, let me call Elias.
Okay. Outside the door, you can see he's still out there with everybody else.
I beckon for Elias to enter the room alone.
Yes, Jeeves, what is it?
Could you use your assistance for a moment?
Certainly, my friend. Is the girl okay?
She
Okay,
looks up
step
at
inside.
you. She looks like she's trying to regain her composure. She looks embarrassed that someone is here.
And Miss Stella, it's okay. He's a friend. Okay, Elias, would you be so kind as to show Victavi the scroll that I received from the Grim Reaper?
Elias looks surprised for a moment and tries to read Jeeves' expression because he doesn't know Victavio very well and he's not sure he can trust him. So he looks at Victavio and asks, "What would you do with this scroll, sir? How did you come to know of it?"
Well, Jeeves here has told me about it. Obviously, I've helped this little girl out. If it's something you don't wish me to see, that's fine. But I understand that that you have had need of my services. I don't think I'm asking too much to see something he's asking you to show me.
Yeah, on the way over here, I mentioned, well, he asked about Alexandra, so I filled him in with some of the details, and I mentioned the meeting with the Grim Reaper, and he has a strong history of knowledge, so I figured it wouldn't hurt for him to take.
I have certainly noticed, my friend, that you are much more trained in the ways of clerical spells than I am. Maybe you have some knowledge of the Enotian language as well, because that's what seems the scrolls be written in. I suppose I have nothing to lose if Jeeves trusts you, and he trusts you with the life of his departed master. I certainly see no reason to hide it from you. So Elias produces the scroll and shows it to Rictavio.
Okay. What was the perception check for?
Kind of to read Rictavio's motive. Like, I'm pretty sure he's fine, but I'm just seeing if he's, trying to con us or anything.
I think insight is more appropriate than perception.
Oh, my bad.
Mine was just to see if I could hear from the hallway with Victor.
You can't.
Didn't think so.
You sense from Rictavio that he is definitely not a carnival kind of guy. Absolutely, he's giving signs of a man of faith, the same faith as yours. And his intentions, all you can really read from him is that he is shaken by the news of Alexandra's death. When that was mentioned just now in front of you, his face just went very pale, and he looked sick at the news that Alexandra is no longer with us.
Okay, so Elias feels convinced and reassured, and he hands it over readily.
Yes, and he takes it from you, and he says, "This is not material made of this world." And he shows you that the parts of the scroll that roll out, that kind of that are used to pull apart to roll the scroll, that the scroll's rolled upon, is some metal that you've never even seen before. It is unlike anything from this world. And he says, "This is a very rare spell. I think that once I cast this, it will disintegrate. It's only one time that we can cast this spell. Let me take a moment to investigate what this is." And he sits down on the bed and begins reading and kind of puzzling to himself about what this spell will do. And given enough time, he says, "Ah, yes, I see here. This is some sort of mix between alchemy and divine magic. This will bring someone back from the dead, but there will be a cost. That cost will be someone's life. It will not be a painful death, but their life and their soul will pass. And in return, you will gain the same in the opposite direction. You will be able to retrieve a soul and place it into a body."
Yes, that is about as much as I surmised myself from reading what little I could understand. But does this not sound like dark magic to you?
Oh, magic itself, young sir, is not dark or light. It's all on how you use it. The intentions behind what you do with it matter much more than the source. Let's say, for instance, that you chose to sacrifice someone evil. Someone, I don't know, let's say a Vistani or a werewolf or something like that, where they were beyond redemption. Then you would gain a life back in return. This could be a very powerful tool to bring Alexandra back. And trust me, the world will need her.
Are there any perceived side effects? Is anything from the sacrificed soul passed on to the one brought back?
It doesn't say. It doesn't appear to be part of the spell. I do fear that magic works a bit differently in Barovia than other places I've been. Some of the side effects can be disturbing. And you can tell he's just being completely honest, and only because you asked that he said that.
I see. If it were up to me, I don't think I could do it, sir, because the idea of sacrificing another soul does not sit well with me. But I understand the importance of Alexandra, but I'm not sure what your relationship to her is and why you were so upset over the news. Did you know her or the family?
If needs be, I would gladly give my life for hers.
Well,
Jack
Jeeves.
knocks on the door and calls.
All right.
How goes?
Stella, this whole time that you've been talking, she's been upset and crying, and with Rictavio sitting on the bed, she just has kind of resorted to pushing herself into one corner. Not the corner where she has used like a human litter box, but you get the impression that she would appreciate some time alone.
Shall we take this elsewhere, gentlemen?
Yeah, I can do that.
And I did pose a question to Rictavio.
Yes, and Jack was knocking on the door at the same time. Which brings attention to the door. If you'd like to open it and start to move out.
Yeah, let's go out. And I don't suppose we'll show Victor to Stella quite yet.
Okay.
Probably smart. On the way out as well, I use my thieves' cant, and I'm gonna let Jack know about Lilith being evil and not human. Just confirm his suspicions.
Yeah, I doubt he'll be surprised.
Yeah, I think he knew.
Yeah,
Thieves can't back. I knew it!
Are you guys doing that thing again? What is all that anyway?
Well, no, to you it
Flashy
sounds
hit.
like, Elias, it sounds like they're just talking normal conversation to you. But to them, there's subtle hidden messages in the speech which, given enough time, they can communicate to each other on the sly without you even knowing what's going on.
Oh, I thought it was like really weird slang.
No, it's not. It doesn't sound like Cockney English or anything like that. It's just normal speech, but there's code inside that lets them communicate in a way that only those two can understand.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Sort
perhaps
of like
Ernst.
saying that's what she said instead of that's what she said. Different
Yeah.
inflections, different words.
Right,
Yeah.
things like that. But when you say that, you do see an expression change on Ernst's face.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Thieves.
Rictavio looks to Elias and says, "What was it you were saying, my boy?"
Yes, Rictavio. I was curious. You seemed quite upset about the news of Alexandra. Did you perhaps know her or the family?
I don't wish to divulge any personal information, I hope you understand, but Jeeves and I are old friends. That's as far as I wish to share. If Jeeves would like to share more, that will be his decision.
I see.
Maybe some other time.
Okay, I suppose that will do for now. We do have business.
Yes, and he says this scroll, I believe I can cast this with ease, if that is what you wish, but you know the requirements. I will need a sacrifice. And
What kind of sacrifice?
Unlike Elias here, I don't mind sacrificing someone. This is not outside of something I would be comfortable doing, as long as it's not some innocent.
What kind of sacrifice? What do you mean?
When this spell is cast, it will pay a toll to the Grim Reaper. It will give him a soul, and in exchange he will give a soul back to a body. Breathe life into it once more. This is a mixture of arcane alchemy and divine magic. It's very ancient. Never seen anything quite like it.
So you need to kill someone to bring Alexandra back.
Exactly, but it will not be painful. Life will
I'll
just
do
be
it.
snuffed out instantly.
Are you crazy? You can't do it, Jack.
I'm absolutely insane. That's beyond the point. I'll do it.
Why? We can't lose two.
You won't. You'll lose one. Old fool for a young girl. I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Jack needs to get in line.
Which means?
Which means I'm responsible for not being there for her, for my lady. And I promise to protect her with my life. And It's my life.
I was the one who suggested we let her meet Ezek alone. I bear just as much responsibility.
I think we all have a responsibility, including her. I don't know what the right thing to do here is, but it can't be one of you sacrificing yourself.
You're right, it can't be one of us. It has to be me. Jeeves is more important to the venture.
I disagree, but
There is a nasty plump child throwing rocks in the
Alexander would
village.
not.
What if we cook?
Lilith has a point. Did you hear that?
yeah,
We're not sacrificing a child, no matter how nasty.
I don't know. He's pretty nasty.
Rictavia says, "There's no way I will do this with a child. You're going to have to
Agree.
find
See?
someone that is not a child." And he looks at you like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, he's an evil child, and he
Out
deserves
of
a
character,
beating.
guys. What about the barkeep that condoned Ezek's behavior?
Mhm.
Yeah, last you saw him,
Out of
he
character, there's also a werewolf.
Yes, pardon our bad judgment. We had a bad experience with this child, but as you say, we cannot do such a thing.
If this is your form of humor, I find it disturbing.
No, not humor, sir. Just quite a moment of emotion here. We're quite taken aback by the circumstances. We just had a bad
He
run.
hucked rocks at Jeeves' head, and Jeeves is upset, and from what I understand, he did it to Elias as well.
Yes.
Yes, but you know children, they don't understand what they're doing.
Yes, I think I know that particular child. I've had my eye on him, seeing him do things in the town square that were not becoming of a young man. A portly boy, if I remember.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yes. There must be something else we can do.
Well, you can't use her, and he nods to Lilith and says, "It must be a human soul, and I don't know if she has one.
What?
Don't believe you're keeping the company of the most innocent people here."
What makes you think I don't have several?
I'm still going with Succubus.
Several souls?
That she's possibly devoured, tricked out of men, sucked out of penises. Who knows?
Oh boy.
This is getting worse and worse.
Lilith.
Is there no one else in this town that deserves it? Can you think of no one? Anyone who possibly sat by while your friend was murdered?
A barkeep who could have been intimidated, who may have a family depending on him.
A coward, perhaps, but I don't know if he deserves to die, but you all know me.
A coward who turned his eye blind one too many times.
I don't believe so. Also, we should ignore everything out of Lilith's mouth. She is spawn of the devil. Look at Elias. Consider her the serpent.
Aw. What does Lilith have to say about that?
She was quiet for once.
I think speechless is the right word.
I think she fell off.
Oh, Discord.
Lord.
Yeah.
Fist shaking. Oh, that's too bad.
I think that's April fist shaking and not Lilith.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Silence is golden.
Uh,
Back, sorry. Discord totally crashed on me.
oh, that's fine. Now I just get to see how you get to respond to the stuff that comes.
I cut off after Serpent. What happened? What I missed?
Yeah, Jack, if you would, please repeat yourself.
Everything out of Lilith's mouth should be perhaps taken with a grain of salt. Elias, consider her the spawn of the devil. In this case, she is the serpent. Corrupter, tempter, all that sort of thing.
Little old me? Really? You'd believe such nasty lies?
Oh my god, yes.
What is her purpose then? Why would she do that? I don't understand.
Why would Satan do that?
You think I serve the devil? How droll.
I think you serve someone, and I don't think they're pleasant or intend good things for us.
Whom I serve is none of your concern. Just know that I was sent here to keep an eye on you and make sure that you don't fail. As you already clearly have.
That we don't fail.
There you go. See? See? Not even denying it.
Fail how? With Alexandra?
Your friend is dead, is she not?
Possibly temporarily.
Definitely temporarily, especially if you would all stop arguing with me.
I don't think Rictavia would allow that anyway. Would you, sir?
Allow what?
This man here who has done no wrong, obviously, and a good enough person to stand up and allow himself to be sacrificed, you would not agree to give his life for Alexandra's.
Are you speaking of Jeeves or this raven-haired man?
Either one, and Jeeves being a friend of yours, clearly.
Yes, well, Jeeves has
Rictavio understands the mission.
Jeeves has failed in a very important task of keeping Alexandra on a safe and noble path. If his wish is to be sacrificed, I will respect it. And as for the other man, I'm sure his intentions are noble, and I would take a willing sacrifice over a child or something like that any day.
My vote's for that barkeep.
One of us has things to return to in the other world. One of us does not. My entire reason for being and following was for revenge.
And both of you have a job to do here.
Why not, as much as I would hate to it be the case, why not this barkeep over the two of you? Don't you know your value to the world and saving this this land from Strahd?
The priest speaks truth. You all have a job to do here.
Don't you know the value of a man repentant?
To set best with my conscience, I would rather sacrifice someone willing than someone you deem guilty.
We're all guilty in the end, are we not?
Yes, no man is without sin.
Slap Jeeves.
Huh. Duck.
Yeah, that's an attack roll versus his AC if you really want to try. Otherwise, he's going to dodge.
The more time you spend arguing, gentlemen, the less time you have to resurrect her. I'm sure that scroll comes at quite a cost and has a time limit attached.
Redemption for one soul is one thing, but redemption of an entire land of innocent people is another. You must think of the greater good than be so selfish as to want something for yourself.
Everything is selfish in the end. Even selflessness is a concept that cannot truly exist.
You speak semantics, Jack. I can't argue that, but you must see the importance that we all have here. Something has led us to this point. We can't turn back now.
And what makes you think that my purpose was not to sacrifice myself? Each of you has a mission, devoted to the cause.
Including yourself.
You don't want the scarred man.
Exactly. I do, but that is my only cause. It is not noble, it is revenge.
Mike, what time of day is it?
That's a good question. Let's see. I'm gonna have to think out of character for a second here. Because it's been over 2 weeks since we last played, and...
What was the question?
What time of day is it?
Oh, I think it's like
So you woke up at the tavern.
I think it's midday, like maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Let's see. Okay, so it's been an eventful day. There were a few hours of searching for Alexandra. She died. Like, no one's taken a rest or anything since all that. So it's probably pretty late in the either late day or early evening.
Okay. Well, I suggest that we use the rest of the day to at least try and find a guilty soul that we could use as a sacrifice. Otherwise, I'll volunteer myself to be the sacrifice.
Would you two stop that?
You're
we do need
wasting
to-
time, gentlemen.
Ooh,
Deception.
this ought to be good. That was a good roll.
Yes, I agree. The guilty soul is likely the best bet. We should search for one. And then, as soon as I'm alone with him, beg Rictavio to sacrifice me.
Finally, thank you, Jack. I'm glad you came around.
Sense motives from anyone who would like to oppose that deception check.
Okay, how will I do that? Insight?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still in an old system in my head.
20.
Ooh, close, but no, not a natural 20.
Hey, he did pretty good too.
Yeah,
How
but
would
Jack
I do
did
that
better.
online?
Okay.
Do you have that link to that character sheet? It would be a wisdom check. The little C next to whiz. It's at a +1. Ooh, a 20 as well. But unfortunately, it is not higher than 25. Jack has cleverly let everyone know that you can go out and find a guilty soul, and then he's going to hang back and let Rictavio subtly know, okay, they're out of the way. Let's do this. And
But if he doesn't follow along, we're going to know that he's not with us, and something will be up.
yes, but Rictavio told you himself. He said, I would rather sacrifice a willing soul rather than someone that you think is guilty. And so he nods gravely at Jack, pats him on the shoulder, and that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Yes, but Alexandra's body is in the headmaster of the burgomaster's house anyway. So I imagine they have to be in the same place at the same time, right?
You can imagine all you'd like, but we will find out next week.
Oh, damn it, Jack's deception.
Here, Jack.
Yes, a nice 25 against a 20, a 20, and a 21. Wow. All right. Sorry it was 2 weeks. We missed a week there, but I missed you guys. The Wednesday that we didn't play, I was definitely thinking about you all.
Well, that was a good one. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's
Awesome.
even a tiny little bit of combat.
Yeah. I cut open a dog with lightning and sword, yeah.
Yeah, and then you made a dog friend.
Yeah, how about that?
And you made a cat friend.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, that one dog must not have been very broken up about his other dog being murdered.
I think it was more of a dominance type thing that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the alpha now.
Yeah, that makes sense for a mastiff, yeah, I guess. Yeah, pretty interesting. And now we have a new friend, new Lilith.
Yes. Which
Yep.
may or may not be temporary. Who knows? I'm just glad that that wasn't 2 episodes in a row where Alexandra didn't get to play, because that'd be an entire month.
You want to get technical?
Sure, yes.
She still didn't.
Well, not Alexandra. I meant... you got so many names.
April.
Sunraiser, April, Lilith, Alexandra, Alex. Come on.
Claire.
Yeah, Claire.
You shut your whore mouth.
All right. You guys are great. Anybody want to say anything before we wrap up?
Castlevania show is awesome.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
it is. I don't think that it fits directly within the canon that we've got for the game.
It doesn't.
But if if I would have known about that, the whole Lisa Dracula thing, man, it just... I probably would have just gone a totally different direction with the plot of this whole story.
Well, it's fine. I mean, I'm cool with doing either direction. And I don't know if like this is going to be. Well, I guess it can be accepted into the canon, but who can really say at this point?
Well, the beautiful thing at this point, both the you could branch it either way. Our game fits within the canon of Castlevania, and the animated series fits within the canon of Castlevania games, but the two do not fit within each other's canon.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just the Shankar way of telling things or the Mike way of telling things. But eventually, hopefully, they'll both get us to the same point, which is Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse.
And it could arguably be like an alternate universe too, because they're kind of retconning certain things, like where Sypha came from, as well as the castle being a mechanical like construct or whatever, which is a really cool idea. I like that because it explains how the castle moves and stuff, which is really neat.
Yes.
But,
very cool.
And
my theory with that is like, you know, they're in like this place with all the gears and the long shafts that they fell down. I think they're going to climb back up and find Grant, because you find him in the clock tower level in Castlevania 3.
I don't think there's going to be any Grant. I think that originally this is based off of Warren Ellis's very original script 10 years ago, and it'll be, which was planned to be a trilogy of movies, and each season will be one of those movies, and none of them will include Grant because he thinks the name is stupid, and having a pirate in a landlocked area is stupid. So Warren Ellis just doesn't like Grant. He doesn't give a shit what you think. He's just not that kind of guy that would care.
That was just the first movie, though. In one of his blog entries, he said that he was going to write him in, and it would just change the name.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I read that, and I think
also, as I recall,
considering it. You know what?
As I recall, you couldn't get everyone in one playthrough.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's true.
And they've already got Trevor and Sypha and Alucard. There might just not be any room.
Well, because when he said like Grant was stupid and he couldn't, like he didn't write him in because he didn't have time with one movie to write in all those characters to make them make sense with the story he wanted to tell. People threw a fit and they're like, no, you have to use Grant, blah blah blah. So what he said later was he didn't say that he wouldn't be in the trilogy, just not in the first movie. And when he does include him, he'll change the name to Dynasty or whatever instead of Dynasty.
Yeah,
and
which that will not hurt my feelings at all.
Yeah, thank goodness he's doing that. But I could probably find that thing again. Like, I think he was still writing the next one when that happened. Like, he hadn't written the script for movie 2 in 2007.
Well, one of the things that reassures me was I saw on Twitter he said he was writing season 2. That means it's not in stone already.
Yeah.
And the big feedback that everyone's giving is Grant. That's all I see. So
which is really silly because nobody gave a shit about Grant before this. Honestly,
that's
not
true.
I mean, comparatively, like I didn't hear anything about Grant until this happened from the fan base.
Oh, come on. Okay, but I liked Grant. I've never even played Castlevania 3 all the way through. And when I was playing Symphony, when you have to fight the 3 like zombie type characters of the heroes,
yeah,
you know, that was important. That linked, like, that was Castlevania lore happening from one game to the other. That was persistent world consistency, and I liked it. And he was part of it, and I think he deserves to remain part of it. The ship levels were awesome. Ship levels are just like clock levels. They're just like, this is something that is part of Castlevania. It's not the only game with a ship level, right?
Yeah. Actually, the ship level is right after you get a Sypha, though.
Yeah, but I mean, ship, pirate, Grant. That I mean, it all
he's not even really a pirate, though. I mean, he has a headband on, but he's not a pirate.
If you look at the Castlevania image in the background of our fantasy grounds, you'll see a ship in that lake. It's obviously not connected to an ocean, but it's there. Maybe there is a river that goes off to the south there. But
Yeah.
Also, he could just as easily be turned into a highwayman and not lose a whole lot.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be a literal pirate.
Yeah. I mean, I like Grant too, don't get me wrong. I think he's a neat character and everything. He's not like the partner I would usually pick, and I like him and everything, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't expect there would be as much of an uproar. Well, there really isn't an uproar, but, you know, people
Yeah,
really care.
it is what it is.
Yeah, they care more about him than I anticipated they would.
And if you have to sacrifice one character for developing a better story with just 3 main characters, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
But I understand that if people really like Grant, that he at least deserves a mention or something. I mean, they were cool enough to take the Cyclops fight and have Sypha as a statue, and then she turns real from the statue just like in the game. That was awesome. And, you know, why was she a statue? Well, this Cyclops shoots like Medusa-like gaze. That wasn't part of the game, but it makes sense. Because why else would she be a statue and then come to life after it's defeated? And then the whole like male-female confusion from the translation, they worked that in with the, you were dressed like a boy, and she's like, well, it's safer to travel that way. I mean, those were just the perfect little nods to making that amazing. I loved that. That was just perfect.
I think at the very least they'll write him in as a minor character. I think he'll help the main party, but maybe not stick around for the whole of the fight.
Right. Yeah, that would be the best way to handle it. Just to where it's not such an issue, or people can just like get it out of the way and be like, okay, that was done. We don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah. And it'd be cool too if he's like, he's like the demon form when you first fight him, and you have to like help him out and transform him back or whatever. Because originally when you first see him, it's like a boss fight with Alucard. Like you have to transform back into a human.
Yes, very interesting, I think.
And another thing about Grant too is like in the lore, actually Judgment's what says this, but what happens after Castlevania 3 is he's the guy that like rebuilds Wallachia after all that happens with Dracula. So that's pretty important.
Yeah, I think that Judgment adds a lot of lore, especially to Sypha. But it's Judgment, so take it for what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how much like to trust Judgment. That's the one that says like Grant was jealous about Trevor and Sypha too, so that's kind of weird.
All right. Well, Castlevania aside, I'll see everyone back in game next week.
Yeah.
Yes, and we can talk more Castlevania outside the game.
Yeah, and we can do a podcast again sometime too.
Yes, we need to
That'd be
do
fun.
that soon. All right. Well, until next time.
Cool.
I'll message you, Mike.
Okay.
I have ideas.
Excellent. I was gonna get with you anyway. All right.